There's $1.4 million sitting in 3 accounts with your name on them. Not your money, not even close. It belongs to people who will never appear on a single document. And if any one of those accounts gets flagged tonight, every dollar in them becomes evidence with your signature at the bottom. Your phone buzzes at 2:47 a.m. The number is unlisted. You already know what it means. You're standing in your kitchen in the dark, and the only sound is the hum of the refrigerator and your own breathing. And you're doing math, not the kind they taught you in school. The kind where you calculate how fast you can move $340,000 before the banks open at 9. But we're not there yet. Level 1, the first favor. You're 23, and you're tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. You work at a tire shop on Roosevelt Avenue. $11 an hour, 42 hours a week if Marco doesn't cut your Friday. After taxes, after the bus pass, after the $220 you give Ma on the first of every month, you keep about $140 a week for yourself. That's food, that's a phone bill, that's nothing left over. Ma sits at the kitchen table on the first of every month with a composition notebook, the black and white marbled kind, 99 cents from the dollar store. She opens it to a fresh page, writes the date at the top in neat block letters, and lists every bill: electric, water, rent, phone. She writes the amounts next to each one, then writes paid in capital letters as she pays them, one by one, from the envelope she keeps in the silverware drawer. She's done this for as long as you can remember. The notebook is almost full. Your cousin Terrell asks you for a favor, not a big one. He needs someone with a clean bank account to deposit a check for $500 and withdraw the cash the next day. You hand Terrell $500 in 20s at a gas station on Mercer. He gives you $75. $75 for doing nothing. You made more standing at an ATM for 6 minutes than you make in 5 hours pulling tires. You tell yourself it was a one-time thing, a favor, not even illegal. You just deposited a check. That's what banks are for. 2 weeks later, Terrell asks again. This time it's $800. Your cut is $120. You say yes faster than you expected. At the end of the month, a man named Roman texts you from a number Terrell gave him. The message is polite, professional. Terrell says you're reliable. I might have some regular work. No pressure. You don't answer that night, but you don't delete it either. Level 2, learning the rules. You're 24, and Roman is nothing like what you expected. He meets you at a diner off Route 9. Pressed shirt, sleeves rolled to the forearms, clean fingernails. He orders coffee and eggs and talks like an accountant. He explains the operation like it's a small business, because to him, it is. You deposit checks through a network of check cashing spots. Never more than $8,000 at once. Never the same location twice in a row. You keep 15%. He introduces you to Garrett. Garrett is 53, maybe 55. Hard to tell. He's been doing this for 11 years. He doesn't talk much, but when he does, you listen. Because Garrett is the only person in Roman's circle who looks like he sleeps at night. He has a thick silver band on his right pinky that he turns slowly when he's thinking, and he turns it a lot. The money's not the hard part, Garrett says, watching the parking lot through the diner window, keeping your story straight. That's the job. You're moving $3,000 to $5,000 a week now. Your cut averages $500. Combined with the tire shop, you're pulling over $900 a week. You've never made this much in your life. Marisol notices. You've been together 2 years. She works intake at a dental office on Broad Street. She asks where the new jacket came from. You say overtime. She looks at you for a second too long, but doesn't push. That's the first lie. Not the first you've told. The first one you've told her that you can feel sitting in your chest afterward, like a stone you swallowed wrong. You tell yourself nobody gets hurt. It's just numbers moving between screens. Level 3, the float. You're 25, and Roman teaches you about the float. Here's how it works. He parks a larger sum, $20,000, sometimes $25,000, in an account you've opened under your own name. It sits there for 30 to 90 days while it seasons, makes the money look like legitimate savings. After it seasons, you wire it to a business account Roman controls. You keep $3,000 a month for holding it. Roman explains this in his car outside a storage unit, engine running, heat on. He's calm, even friendly. He shows you the timeline on his phone, like he's walking you through a project plan. Deposits here, transfers here, withdrawals here. Clean. The beautiful thing, Roman says, turning the phone towards you, is that the money never actually moves. It just changes names. He smiles. And that's when you understand something that Garrett's silver ring should have told you months ago. The second someone else's money sits in your name, it stops being theirs. Every dollar of it, every crime behind it, that's yours now. You're not holding it for Roman. You are the holding. The human container the money lives inside until it's clean enough to leave. You quit the tire shop. You tell Ma you got a desk job at a logistics company. She writes $0 next to your name in the composition notebook for the first time since you were 19. You've told her you don't need help anymore. Denise, your younger sister, doesn't say anything, but you catch her watching your hands when you pay for dinner with cash, watching how you count it, how you don't look at the prices. You tell yourself the system is rigged anyway. Banks launder more than you'll ever touch. You've read the articles. Level 4, the chase. You're 26, and Roman opens a shell company in your name, Stonebridge Consulting LLC. It has a website, a mailing address in Delaware, and a Google Voice number. It does nothing. But on paper, it invoices 3 other companies Roman controls for project management services, and the payments cycle through your business checking account at $40,000 to $50,000 a quarter. Your personal take is around $22,000 every 3 months. You move into a 2-bedroom apartment. You buy a used Audi with cash. Not new enough to attract attention, not old enough to feel like the tire shop. Marisol moves in. She's pregnant. You buy Ma a new planner for Christmas. Leather cover, gold-edged pages, her initials embossed. She thanks you, puts it on the shelf above the microwave, and on January 1st, she opens the same composition notebook she's had for 2 years and writes the date at the top. You don't say anything, but you feel it, the distance between what you're giving and what she'll accept. Denise visits the apartment. She walks through the rooms, touches the countertop, opens the refrigerator like she's looking for something. She doesn't find it. At the door, she says, "You know what's weird? You never talk about work." You laugh it off. She doesn't laugh back. The baby comes in August. A girl, Lucia. Marisol holds her in the hospital, and you're standing by the window doing math in your head. Not about formula or diapers, but about how long the current float has been sitting, and whether the next transfer is going to clear before the account triggers an automatic review. Your daughter is 4 hours old, and you're calculating risk. You tell yourself, if you don't do it, someone else will, someone less careful. Level 5, the reckoning. You're 28, and you're managing $1.4 million across 3 LLCs, 2 personal accounts, and 1 offshore holding Roman set up through a contact in Belize. Your annual take is around $140,000. On paper, you're a consultant. In reality, you're a human washing machine. Calvin gets arrested on a Tuesday. Calvin ran a parallel operation. Same structure, different accounts. You've met him twice. The feds don't raid his house. They don't kick down the door. They wait for him at his daughter's school pickup. 2 agents in a sedan. They show him a warrant. He goes quietly. His daughter stands on the sidewalk, holding her backpack straps, watching her father get into a car that isn't his. Nobody at the school stops. Nobody asks the girl if she's okay. A crossing guard blows a whistle for the next group of kids. The world continues at its normal speed. Roman doesn't mention Calvin again, not once, as if the name was deleted from a spreadsheet. 3 weeks later, Marisol finds a bank statement, not the regular one, the Stonebridge one. She sits on the bed with Lucia asleep in the next room and says, "Explain this." You try. The explanation is thin. She knows it, you know it. Denise calls that same week. "I looked up Stonebridge Consulting. There's no office, there's no staff page, there's nothing." She's quiet for a long time. "Are you in trouble?" You tell yourself you're in too deep to stop. For the first time, that feels like the truth instead of an excuse. Level 6, the walk away. You're 29, and you make a decision in a grocery store parking lot at 11 p.m. You're sitting in the Audi with the engine off. Marisol has taken Lucia to her mother's house. She didn't say for how long. Denise hasn't returned your calls in 2 weeks. And you just got a text from Roman, a new float, $200,000, arriving Thursday. You don't answer. Instead, you call a man named Harlan. Harlan is a forensic accountant who does compliance consulting. You found him through a legal aid listing 3 months ago and wrote his number on the back of a gas receipt you've carried in your wallet ever since. You dial it. Harlan doesn't judge. He also doesn't sugarcoat. The walkaway requires 3 things: close every account, file amended tax returns for 3 years, and make a voluntary disclosure to FinCEN. He tells you the disclosure might protect you, or it might accelerate an investigation you don't know about yet. There's no guarantee. You do it anyway. Roman finds out within a week. He doesn't threaten you directly. He's too smart for that. Instead, a letter arrives at Ma's house. Not yours, Ma's. It's from a collections agency claiming you owe $34,000 on a defaulted business loan. It's fake, but Ma doesn't know that. She calls you, voice shaking, and reads the letter out loud, and you can hear her turning the pages of the composition notebook in the background, checking to see if she missed a payment somewhere. You drive to Ma's house that night. You sit at her kitchen table. She has the notebook open. You see your name next to car insurance. $187. She's been paying your car insurance for 3 months. You didn't ask. She never mentioned it. You tell her the letter is a mistake. You'll handle it. She nods. She doesn't ask why a collections agency has her address. Harlan connects you with a woman named Vivian, a caseworker at a re-entry nonprofit. She's the first person who asks you a question nobody else has. What did you actually learn how to do? You think about it. You learned how to read financial statements, how to structure transfers, how to spot when an account is about to trigger a review, how to track money across borders. Then do that, Vivian says. Just point it the other direction. Level 7, the grind. You're 31, and you work in the accounts receivable department of a medical billing company in Edison, New Jersey. You make $52,000 a year. The work is boring in a way that feels like medicine. You reconcile invoices, you chase down insurance payments, you sit at a desk under fluorescent lights and drink coffee from a styrofoam cup. And every number you touch is clean. And at the end of every day, your name isn't attached to anything you can't explain. Vivian told you something in your second meeting that you carry like a wallet card. Boredom is the first thing you earn back. You didn't understand it then. You do now. The ability to be bored, to sit in a quiet room and feel nothing urgent, is something you lost somewhere around level 3 and didn't notice until it was gone. A man at a gas station in Linden recognizes you. Not by name, by association. He asks if you're still working with Roman. He has a proposition. He says the word easy 3 times in 2 minutes. Your hands go cold. Not because you're afraid, because for about 4 seconds, you can feel it. The pull, the simplicity of it, the way the math always worked. You could pay off the car in a month. You buy your gas. You drive away. You call Vivian from the parking lot of a Wendy's and talk for 11 minutes about nothing in particular. She doesn't ask why you called. She already knows. You try to repair things with Marisol. She agrees to dinners, public places, Lucia between you, conversations about school and bedtimes, never about the marriage. She is cordial and fair, and she never says the word trust. Its absence is louder than the accusation. You learn something about honest work that the old life never taught you. The money doesn't come faster because you're smarter. It comes on schedule. You can't hack it. You can't structure it. You just show up and it shows up. And the slowness of it is the proof that it's real. One habit survives. Every time you walk into a building, you count the exits. You don't decide to do this. Your body does it for you. 2 doors, 1 hallway, a fire escape behind the stairwell. You've done it so many times, it's automatic now, like blinking. You wonder if it will ever stop. You don't think it will. Level 8, the full circle. You're 34. You make $67,000 a year. You got promoted to senior billing analyst, not because you're the smartest person in the department, but because you never miss a discrepancy. You catch things other people skip. You learned that skill in a different life, and you use it here like a tool that's been cleaned and repurposed. Marisol and you share custody of Lucia, Thursdays and alternating weekends. The divorce was quiet. She kept the apartment. You rent a 1-bedroom 6 blocks away. Lucia has a toothbrush at both places. Some things don't get repaired. They just get reorganized. Denise calls you once a week now. Not every day. Once. She asks about Lucia. She asks about work. She does not ask about the years between 24 and 29. That silence is its own sentence. A 5-year gap in your sister's willingness to know you, and it will never fully close. You sit at your own kitchen table on the 1st of the month. You have a composition notebook, not the same brand as Ma's, but the same kind, black and white marbled, 99 cents. You open it to a fresh page, write the date at the top in block letters, and list every bill. Rent, $1,340. Electric, $94. Phone, $78. Lucia's school lunch account, $45. You write paid next to each one as you pay them from your checking account. The account has $2,100 in it. It's all yours. Every dollar traceable, explainable, earned. You visit Garrett once at a federal minimum security facility in Allenwood. He's been there for 14 months. He'll be there for another 32. He sits across the table in a khaki uniform, and the silver band is gone from his pinky. They took it at intake. His hand looks strange without it, smaller. He turns the bare finger anyway, out of habit, while he talks about the food and the routine and a book about birds he's been reading. He doesn't ask about Roman. He doesn't ask about the money. He asks if you're sleeping okay. You tell him yes. He nods. He knows what that means. On a Saturday in October, you're at a laundromat on South Orange Avenue, waiting for Lucia's school clothes to dry. A kid, 22, maybe 23, is sitting 2 machines over, scrolling his phone. He gets a call. You can't hear the words, but but you can hear the shape of the conversation, the pause, the quick laugh that's not really a laugh. Yeah, I can do that. That comes too fast. He hangs up. He looks at his phone for a long time. Then he opens his banking app. You know exactly what he's about to do. You recognize the posture, the little burst of energy in the shoulders, like someone who just found money in a jacket pocket. You could say something. You could walk over and tell him what the next 11 years of his life look like if he deposits that check. You could tell him about the float, about the notebook, about the silver ring that isn't there anymore. You don't. You fold Lucia's uniform. You stack it neat. You carry it to the car. Some doors, people have to walk through on their own. You just hope his composition notebook is waiting for him on the other side.